the kid who played through heartbreak and changed a city. The loudest part of a stadium is not the crowd. It is the moment right before the first pitch, when everyone is pretending the world outside the field does not exist. In a small city where baseball was the summer heartbeat, there was one game nobody wanted to play. Not because the opponent was tough, because grief had already won the night before. Jalen Brooks was a kid with a smooth swing and the kind of quiet manners adults like to praise. Easy to coach, good teammate, the type who held doors, said yes sir, and never made a scene. And then something happened in his life that made the uniform feel heavier than it ever had. His coach offered him the day off. His teammates told him they understood. The town, in its own way, expected him to stay home. Jalen did not show up because he felt strong. He showed up because he knew what silence does to a person. This is the story of the kid who played through heartbreak and changed a city. Chapter 1. The Night Before. Nobody needs details to understand that kind of heartbreak. You can see it in the way adults speak softly and kids suddenly act older. Jalen is home filled with visitors, food nobody tasted, and sentences that ended early. People said, "If you need anything," the way people always do when they do not know what to say. Jalen sat on the edge of his bed, holding his glove like it was an anchor. He was not thinking about baseball. He was thinking about the next morning, and how the world keeps moving even when your life feels paused. Chapter 2. The Choice to Show Up. The next afternoon, Jalen stood in front of his closet. The uniform looked the same. It never changes for your feelings. He put it on slowly, like he was stepping into a version of himself he was not sure he could carry. His coach met him at the field gate. "You do not have to do this," he said. Jalen nodded. "I know." Then he said the sentence that explained everything. "If I stay home, I will feel alone." That is the part adults miss. Sometimes kids do not need rest. They need connection. Chapter 3. The stadium is quiet. When Jalen walked into the dugout, conversations lowered. Not because people were uncomfortable, because they were careful. You could feel the whole place trying not to make it worse. Before the first pitch, Jalen walked out to center field by himself. He looked up at the stands and lifted his cap. No speech, no tears. Just a gesture that said, "I am here. I see you." The stadium went quiet. Not awkward quiet, respect quiet. And in that quiet, something changed. The game stopped being entertainment. It became a place the city could hold its grief without collapsing under it. Chapter 4. 8-ball makes you keep going. The first ball hit to center field was routine, the kind of play you make without thinking. But Jalen's hands shook when he caught it. He lowered his glove and stared at the seams, as if he needed proof the world was still real. In the second inning, he came up to bat and froze for a half second, not from fear of the pitcher. From the weight of being seen while hurting. That is what baseball does. It puts you on display and asks you to function. Jalen stepped out, touched the dirt, and whispered, "One pitch at a time." It was not magic. It was regulation. It was a kid trying to stay inside the moments so the bigger pain could not swallow him. He fought off the strikes and punched a single into right field. The crowd did not erupt like it was a walk-off. It stood up like it understood what it had just witnessed. Because that hit was not a statistic. It was a message. I can still move forward. Chapter 5. The Dugout Lesson. Between innings, his teammate, Carlos, sat next to him. No pep talk, no forced positivity. Carlos would ask a better question. "What are you telling yourself right now?" Jalen stared at the ground. "That I should not be here." Carlos nodded as if that made sense. "Then let us make it simple," he said. "We get you to the next pitch. That is the underrated skill adults should teach kids. Shrink the moment." Not denial, management, the next pitch, the next breath, the next step. Jalen looked up. I can do the next pitch, he said. And for the first time all day, his shoulders dropped. Chapter 6. The game inside the game. Late innings, a ball split the gap. Jalen ran full speed and made the catch on the warning track, sliding and holding the ball up like proof. He did not celebrate. He just stood up, brushed dirt off his pants, and threw the ball in. The city roared, but not because it was flashy, because it was clean, present. Honest effort from a kid who had every reason to disappear. After the last out, the opposing team lined up to shake hands. One player held Jalen's hand a second longer than normal and said something you could not hear from the stands. But you could see Jalen nod. You could see his jaw tighten. Respect recognizes pain. Chapter 7. How a City Changes. The next day, someone started a small fund in the name of the person Jalen lost. It was not large at first. Small-town money rarely is, but it spread. The local diner put a jar by the register. The hardware store posted a sign. The high school team passed a hat. Then the stands changed. Families who never came started showing up. Kids asked for Jalen's autograph, not because he was the best player in the city, because he became the clearest example of what it looks like to keep going without pretending it does not hurt. Jalen never asked to be that symbol. But symbols are often chosen by circumstance, not ambition. Closing. Baseball's gift is not that it makes pain disappear. It does not. Its gift is that it teaches us how to take the next step while carrying what we carry. If you are going through heartbreak, you do not need to be heroic. You just need your next pitch. If you are watching someone go through it, the best thing you can do is not fix them. It is stay near them. If you want more stories like this, subscribe. Comments. City. If you believe showing up can change more than a scoreboard.